Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Thiru. In this video, I am going to talk about AWS VPC peering. VPC peering is a feature that allows direct communication between two isolated VPCs. I am not going to cover VPC fundamentals in this video. To learn more about VPC fundamentals, please refer to my other video titled as Introduction to AWS Virtual Private Cloud. I will include a link to it in the description. In this video, I will review the AWS VPC peering architecture and demonstrate how VPC peering is implemented. By design, AWS VPCs are isolated networks. Unless you configure otherwise, there is no connectivity between the VPCs. You can use things like an internet gateway to make a VPC publicly accessible in both directions, or you can use NAT gateway for outbound only access. But sometimes you may want connectivity between multiple VPCs. For example, if you have got shared services running in a single VPC, something like a database, and you want to make that accessible to other VPCs, then you can use VPC peering. You might also have a requirement to split an application into multiple isolated networks to limit the blast radius in the event of any network based attacks. VPC peering is used when you want to link VPCs together. VPC peering normally allows isolated VPCs to communicate with each other at a network level. Once VPCs are connected together using VPC peers, services in those VPCs can communicate using private IP addresses from the source VPC to the destination and vice versa. VPC peers can span AWS accounts and even regions, but with some limitations. When you are using the VPC peering, data is encrypted between the VPCs. If you are using VPC peering cross-region, then the data transmits via the AWS global backbone and it benefits from a much lower latency and higher performance than using the public internet. Enough of the introduction. Let us dive into the demo. First, let us log into the AWS console. I have already logged into the AWS console and I am in the AWS Management Console homepage. Let us navigate to VPC dashboard. First, let's click on Services. AWS services are grouped based on the category. VPC is under Networking and Content Delivery. Here it is. Let's click on it. Now we are in the VPC dashboard. Let's navigate to VPCs. And we don't have any custom VPCs. This is the default VPC for this account in this region. So currently we are in North Virginia, US East 1 region. So I'm going to create two VPCs, namely VPC 1 and VPC 2, and I will create VPC peering connection between those VPCs, and I will launch instances on both the VPCs and connect to them using the peering connection. So let's go ahead and create VPC. I'll name the first VPC as VPC 1. For the IPv4 CIDR block, I'll use 10.0.0.0/16, and I'm not going to use IPv6 CIDR block. And for tenancy, I'm going to leave it as default. So I'll go ahead and create. VPC1 is created. So let me go ahead and create a subnet. Create subnet. I'm going to name it as subnet1-VPC1. Choose the VPC1, and I'm not going to choose any availability zone, so no preference. I'll leave it as no preference. And for IPv4 CIDR block for the subnet, I'll use 10.0.1.0/24. So let's go and create the subnet. So subnet is created. So I'm going to create internet gateway and attach it to VPC1. Create internet gateway. I'll name it as IGW1 as VPC1 and create. So internet gateway is created. So select the IGW1-VPC1 Internet Gateway and attach it to VPC1. Attach to VPC, select VPC and select VPC1 and attach it. So the Internet Gateway is attached to VPC1. So why I am creating Internet Gateway and attaching to VPC1 is because I'm going to launch a Bastion host on VPC1 and I need to connect to the Bastion host from my system. So I need internet connectivity, internet access between my system and the VPC1. So we need internet gateway. So for VPC2, I'm not going to create an internet gateway. I'll leave it as a private VPC with only private IP address without any access to the internet. So with using the VPC peering connection, I'll show you how to access the systems on the VPC2 from VPC1. So now let's go to route table and check the routing. So this is the route table. This is the main route table created for VPC1. I'm not going to use the main route table. So let me go ahead and create a new one. Create route table. I'll just name it as public RT for VPC1. Select VPC and create. It's created. So let's go ahead and select the route table and go to subnet associations, edit subnet association and associate the newly created subnet, that is subnet 1, to this routing table. And let's go to routes, and we already have a local route and we need to add route to the internet. So edit route, add route. So select anywhere, the destination as anywhere and target as our internet gateway and save routes. So we have created VPC1 and subnet and internet gateway and route table. So regarding the network ACLs, I'm not going to create a new one. So I'm going to use the default one. So the default network ACL has an inbound rule as allow all the traffic, and it allows all the traffic as outbound rule also. So I'm going to leave it at that. And so let's go to VPC and create second VPC. I'm going to name it as VPC2. So I'm going to use 192.168.0.0/16 IPv4 CIDR block for VPC2. I'm not going to use IPv6 for this VPC as well. And default tenancy looks good. Let's go ahead and create. It's done. So let's go to subnet. I'm going to create a subnet and subnet 1 VPC2. So let's select VPC2 and I'm not going to choose any availability zone as well here. And regarding the IPv4 CIDR block for this subnet, I'll use 192.168.1.0/24. I'm going to create it. So subnet is created. And if you go to route table, you can see VPC2. Yep, it has a subnet association. I'm going to use the default one for VPC2. It already has a subnet association. On second thought, let's go ahead and create the route table. Let's create a route table and let me call that as private route table VPC2 and select VPC2. So this will make things little clear. Close. Okay, let's select the private route table and edit the subnet association and select the subnet that we created. Looks good. I'm not going to create internet gateway for VPC2 because I'm going to leave it as a private only VPC, and the instances that is launched on VPC2 will be accessed from VPC1 using VPC peering connection. So let's go ahead and create VPC peering. Creating a VPC peering connection is actually a two-step process. The first step is to create the VPC peer and the second is to accept it. One side is the requester and the other is the acceptor. For this demonstration, both of these are going to be within the same account, but it could be two different accounts, two different regions, or a combination of those as well. I'll be both the requester and the acceptor for this demonstration since this process occurs inside the same account. So first I'm going to create VPC peer. So let's navigate to peering connections and create peering connections. So I will name it as VPC1, VPC2 pair, and the requester is going to be VPC1 and the CIDR block is 10.0.0.0/16 and select another VPC to pair with. So this could be my account or another account, or this could be the same region or another region. So for this demonstration, it's my account and the same region. So VPC2, I'm going to select VPC2 as the acceptor. So you can see the IPv4 CIDR block is 192.168.0.0/16. So now this is important to remember that you cannot create a VPC peer between two VPCs with either a complete or partial overlap of these CIDR ranges. So in this case, it is 10.0.0.0/16 and 192.168.0.0/16 do not overlap. But if they did overlap, if I use them, then VPC peering would fail. So let's go ahead and create peering connection now. So it's created. So now I need to go ahead and accept it. Click on actions and accept the request. So review it and select yes, accept and close it. So the VPC peering is created and active now. We have now got the peering connection in place. So we have got the network connectivity, but similar to other gateway objects inside AWS, we need to configure the routing, and that is the next step. I want to create a route so that any traffic that is destined for this other VPC is sent to this VPC peer because the VPC peer is simply a network gateway object. So to do that, let's navigate to route tables, click on public RT VPC1 route table, click on routes. So here we already have two routes. One is the local route that is for 10.0.0.0/16 IPv4 CIDR range. And for internet connection, we have 0.0.0/0 that is targeted through internet gateway that we have created. I'm going to create a more specific route for our VPC peering. So for that, let's go ahead and click an add route. So I'm going to select 192.168.1.0/24. So I'm going to use the IPv4 CIDR range that I have used for the subnet in VPC2. So I can use 192.168.0.0/16 as well, but I'm going to use more specific for subnet. We can pair individual subnets as well. So I'm going to use the IPv4 CIDR range for the subnet on VPC2. And for target, I'm going to select peering connection and select the VPC peer that we have created, that is VPC1, VPC2 peer, and save routes. So let's go do the same for the other routing table, that is the routing table that we have created for VPC2, that is the private RT VPC2. And here we have only one route, that is for 192.168.0.0/16. We don't have any route to the internet because we don't have any internet gateway and we don't want that. So let's go ahead and edit routes, add route. So I'm going to add 10.0.0, sorry, 1.0 10.0.1.0/24 and select peering connection and VPC peer, save routes. So I have created now VPC peer between VPC 1 and VPC 2 and updated the routing table to route the traffic between the two VPCs using the VPC peering connection. Now let us go ahead and launch EC2 instances on both VPC 1 and VPC 2 and see how we can access them. Let's click on services and click on EC2 under compute. And click on instances. Currently I don't have any instances, so let's go ahead and launch one on each VPC. So click on launch instance. I'm going to select Amazon Linux to AMI. I'm going to select T2 Micro as the instant type. For network, let me go ahead and select VPC 1 and we only have one subnet, so that's attached to internet gateway, so we can assign IP address, public IP address. So set it enable and I'm going to leave everything else as default. Next, storage looks good. Let me go ahead and add a tag. So name it as public host or Bastion host or Jumpbox, whatever you feel like. And next, let me go ahead and create a new security group. I'll name it as SG1. And for description also I'll use the same one, SG1. And I need SSH access from my system to the public host. So we can select more specific IP address or like CIDR range, but for this demo I'm going to use anywhere. And review and launch and review everything and then just click launch. I don't have an key pair, so I'm just going to create a new key pair. I'll just name it as my EC2 key pair. Let's go and download the key pair. It's downloaded and I'm going to launch instance. So this is getting launched. Let's go ahead and create another instance on VPC 2. I'm going to use Amazon Linux to AMI and same T2 Micro. And for the VPC, I'm going to select VPC 2 and we only have one subnet, that's the private subnet. So I'll leave it, and then the auto send public IP is disabled by default. That's good because we don't have any internet gateway and we don't need a public IP address. So I'm going to leave everything else as default and click on next, add storage. Looks good. And I'm just going to add a tag. I'll just name it as a private host. Click next. I'm going to create new security group SG2 and I'll just select description as SG2 as well. And I don't need SSH for this one, for this demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all ICMP IPv4 because I'm just going to launch to public. I'm going to connect to public host using SSH connection, and from the public host that is on the VPC1, I'm going to run a ping test to see if I can access this private host that is on the VPC2 to see if that works. So for that I need ICMP connection. And here, instead of selecting anywhere for the source, we can select, we can reference the security group that we have created earlier. So that is SG1. Just remember that we can reference the security group even across the AWS accounts, but if it is in the same region. We cannot reference a security group if we do the VPC peering between two different regions. Just remember that. Let's go and review and launch. Select launch, and I'm going to choose the same key pair that I have created earlier and acknowledge I have access to that and click on it, launch instance. Let's go ahead and see if the instances are launched. So this is the public host that we have launched on VPC1. So you can see VPC ID, that is VPC1. It's launched and it has a IPv4 public IP address. That's good. And we also have a private IP address. So all the instances and AWS always gets a private IP address as well. So let's wait for the private host. Now the private host is also created. So the second instance is created on VPC2 and it doesn't have any public IPv4 IP address. It only has a private IP address, that is 192.168.1.92. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to connect to the public host, that is the Bastion host or Jumpbox, whatever, using SSH connection. And from the public host, I'm going to access the private host that is on VPC2. I'm just going to ping the IP address of the private IP address of the private host and see if that works. So let's go ahead and connect. So to connect, we can either use a standalone SSH client or SSN manager or EC2 instance connect. That is a browser-based SSH connection. So I'm going to select EC2 instance connect and click connect. Now we have connected to the public host. Let's update the packages. It works. It has access to the internet. It's downloading the packages and updating it now. Let's wait for it to complete. Once this is completed, let's go ahead and see if we can access the private host. See if we can ping the IP address of the private host that is on the VPC2. The IP address for the private host is 192.168.1.92. Let's see if the connection works from VPC1 to VPC2 using the peering connection. Okay, so the M update is completed successfully. Let's see if I can ping 192.168.1.92. So this is the private IP address of the private host on VPC2. Cool, the ping works. It means we are able to access the private host from VPC1 to VPC2 using the VPC peering connection. So to summarize, what we have done is we have created two VPCs, VPC1 and VPC2, and we have created a peering connection between those VPCs, and we have configured the routing table, and we have launched two instances on both the VPCs, and we have demonstrated that we can access the instances on both VPC1 and VPC2 using the VPC peering connection. Thank you for joining me in this journey to create VPC peering. Thank you.